let's get into it. We have a solid hour's worth of footage today, so we'll get started. Like Steven and Austin were briefly looking at the buggy choke, and I realized, like, I think I said some stuff in one of the streams recently that was just like wrong when I started thinking about it again, just like the finer points of the buggy choke and how all that works. Deathcore, thanks for the subscription, bud. I just still don't understand it. Like, I watched a few videos from like the Rotolo brothers, just to try to wrap my head around it, but I don't know. I guess just because I don't think I'll ever get it, except on like Gavin.
Yeah.
Anyway, yes, we got Duncan and Caleb. Caleb, I like the flare that only a subscriber would have. Aiden and Justin. And me and Ryan over on the side. Is that Matt and... Oh, Matt and Mitch over on the side, yeah.
Yep.
And you and Pat.
Yep.
I don't know who to look at. Who are you following?
I know. There was like a really interesting reversal chain going with Justin and Aiden. Yeah.
What's up, dude?
See how he just picks up the leg? Justin like reaches back, picks up the the near leg rather, and then just turns him over.
I think that was one of those moves Craig Jones went over in his Power Bottom series. I think Justin tried that a few streams back. We noticed that.
Yeah.
Is that what that was, Justin?
Worked.
Yeah. %. I've always said that about you. Yeah, I'm pretty stoked I get to Justin on the Darth Strangle. Stoked I get to go to the seminar this weekend now. Got Pritt Mickelson coming to show us what's up. So I guess Aiden just turned into him. I wish we could see what Aiden was doing with his left hand here. Looks like maybe he was going for his underhook or something, but it was just...
I think he may have been trying to go for a near leg.
Maybe.
Or something. Yeah, but either way, it was too low.
Yeah. Didn't get the Darce, but he used it to put Aiden back on his back. What's up, James?
What's up, James?
I'd like to see Duncan trying a bit harder to escape this position. I know it's difficult. Caleb kind of looks, I don't know if it's like an angle or what, but Caleb kind of looks a little like he's favoring towards Duncan's left side. Mm-hmm. So a lot, if that's the case, and my eyes aren't deceiving me, a logical, escape would be like an elbow escape, shrimping your butt out to the right, where maybe less of Caleb's weight is based out. Justin's got a nasty little no-gi Ezekiel. Not getting it, though.
Oh, we got Steven and Austin. I missed them.
Well, they were just doing the buggy choke stuff down here on the side.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
It looks like they're actually rolling now. So Austin brought this to my attention after class. He was asking about it. So he wanted to work some of this like leg stepping Rotolo Brothers style passing.
Yeah.
And then he said he kept getting caught. Like Steven kept catching him with this Kimura when he was trying to work that.
Right.
And it, like, I admittedly said to him, I'm not really well versed in Rotolo's in the Rotolo Brothers like passing strategies with like the leg stepping stuff. But my thoughts to him were, and I guess he's kind of doing what I was telling him to do, which was, make sure you're not posting on the ground. Like, just like with any style of passing, you're kind of like working your way up the body where, you're controlling the ankles, the knees, the hips on your way up to controlling the shoulders and the head and getting your legs past. Which it looks like he tries to do here. Like he plants his left hand on the knee once he gets it down. But what I don't see is too much like, I guess it's too much movement. Like he got it there and then he kind of waited a second or two, which allowed Steven to take control. I don't know. It's a loose style of passing, right? Like the footwork was pretty static. Like he wasn't making much in the way of like, forward progress around Steven's legs by moving his feet around or anything like that. So might require a bit more movement once you get those legs under control. I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I think maybe I'm stating the obvious when I say this, but static passing or like the a pressure style passing or whatnot comes with being able to lock down either the hips or the upper body, right? Either the hips or the shoulders. Then you can start working that slow style of passing. But once you're in the dynamic phase of passing, there's no time for you to stop. It has to, like, by nature, dynamic means it's moving and ever changing, right? So like there's no time to really I don't want to say think, right? But you have to be moving and constantly switching. So like the stepping of the ankles, while you may think it's pinning, it's not pinning the hips, right? So you have the rotation of the hips and you have the rotation of the knees that you have to worry about here. And then furthermore, as he moves up to the knee, you still have hand, a lot more mobility from Steven. So he's still able to make grips. If you've got somebody in like a double under style pass, to completely contrast it, you've got that person preferably stacked up on their shoulders and you're controlling hip movement. So then you can sit there for a second. I think with this style passing, and I'm not versed with the Ruotolo's passing either, but like I don't think they ever stop until they get into a dominant pin.
Yeah, I think I may have mentioned to him too, like it's really just another form of grips, and it's less a form of like like you said, it's not a pin. You're not pinning the leg in place like you would pin the hips in place or pin the shoulders in place. So like if you're gonna step, do leg stepping stuff, like you need to be thinking, all right, I'm gonna slow him down with this so that I could hit a quick knee cut. One thing he does right here is I actually, like, speaking of foot movement, that little tiny not a tiny step, it was a big like crescent step. Steven did a good job turning back with him. I think if Austin's hand was focused on the hip, like his right hand, if it was on the hip instead of possibly on the mat or maybe on like wrist control, he may have been able to slow Steven's rotation down and then gotten around Steven's right knee. So when he started on the left side, cut quickly to the right side, may have been enough for him to get around. But then like we see here, the one that I was looping before, I think he just got caught thinking.
Which is going to happen, right? And by all means, Austin, if you're watching this, like, keep doing it, right? Like you have to continuously practice and get caught before you make progress with this type of thing. I mean, and again, like that's what I'm doing myself, right? I mean, me and Matt have been talking about different styles of Toriando's type passing and whatnot, and I mean, like, I'm getting caught left and right just trying trying to do this, getting foot swept, getting, arm dragged, all sorts of stuff because I'm just leaving things behind.
Yeah.
You just got to put yourself out there and keep trying it, and eventually you'll find what works for you.
That was a good Kimura trap from Steven too.
Yes.
I look away for 1 second and he's in another Kimura.
Yeah. And then I think Justin's fighting out of a triangle here too. Aiden's got a trap triangle. I think goes up and readjusts for a lock.
Just to belabor the point, with Austin, watch the right hand. Right, it's going to like Steven's wrist, like he's trying to get wrist control. Mm-hmm. I feel like he's kind of leaping up the body a little too quickly.
I'd agree
with his passing.
Yeah, and I mean, Danaher talks a lot about, like, in his new wave passing instructional, how people get caught by basically, like, when they do go, because we talk a lot about like hip control, shoulder control, whatever. Securing the hips is the priority, and then securing the top pin is the second priority, right? That's secondary.
Yeah.
However, we also do talk about, like, if you can get chest to chest with somebody, that's a solid pinning position from a passing perspective. And but there's an element of always fighting for inside control. So whenever you're trying to fight for that inside control, whenever you're trying to fight for that top pin, you can't be using your arms on the outside of Steven, right? Like, the more you have outside, or he has inside position, the more he can guide your hand wherever he wants it to go. By you fighting for inside position makes it more difficult.
Yeah. Poor Austin has been caught in 3 Kimuras so far. And then look at this transition Steven makes. Yeah, like he goes up to it and then says, it looks like he got his right leg inside. That was it. That was really interesting. I don't know if I've ever seen that on a Kimura trap.
It's almost like he went to go take the back, and Austin caught the leg, thinking that it was, like, that it was going to save a back take.
Yeah.
And Steven just reached up and grabbed the other leg.
That was pretty sick.
That is pretty sick. I like that.
Aiden fighting for a Kimura here. I like how Caleb's loading up on Duncan here. We're going over that with the Osotogari.
Exactly. I think you're seeing him in action trying to implement the Osoto.
Yeah. I think he went on an inside trip there instead. Mm-hmm. Definitely doing a good job.
And Duncan, I think we missed it a couple times. Duncan had a few good takedowns on Caleb in this match here.
Nice.
I'm really happy to see people going for more takedowns.
Oh, Duncan.
Yeah.
He looked like he was comfortable there for a second. I think the role that he took, the defensive role he took, was a little slow. Like, if he could have, he moved like Caleb moved with him. If Duncan had kind of twisted a little faster, he may have been able to get a more advantageous angle for his knee.
Mm-hmm.
But that's all good. He's moving the right way. What's Jason doing back there with Justin?
We hit a go behind.
Yeah, nice. You and Mitch. Quick low single.
Yeah, he always does with me. We slap hands and then he grabs my ankle.
What's up, Austin? Yeah, I didn't get to roll with Duncan on Monday. It was quite a busy day.
Yeah, he was. I was really happy to see it.
It'd be funny to see a time lapse of how sweaty the mats get during this open mat.
It's crazy. Yeah, it was so crazy. AC, for those who weren't there, AC was off, and it was I don't know, it was probably in the 80s or 90s that day.
It was pretty bad, and it was humid as shit.
Yeah.
So Austin, I was going a little too. I wasn't respecting the his back take. Wait, or did that already happen? Yeah, that already happened. Let me go back. I gotta give him his credit here. Yeah, right in the beginning.
Oh yeah. So you went for yeah, that's right.
And he jumps on. I'm like, I was like, all right, whatever. I'll get out of this. And he sank it in really fast.
Mm-hmm.
I started fighting. I'm like, that's my throat crunching right now. Good stuff. I still feel it. It's been hurting to swallow like all week.
That'll happen.
It's a good job, buddy. I'm gonna kill you.
So I could get no offensive positions on Mitch in this entire round. He just kept coming. I mean, typical Mitch, right? He just kept coming after me. There was no relenting. I was trying to take advantage of these rolls. He was trying to do that the Leo roll as he calls it.
Oh right.
And I was trying to shuck him over, and best I can do was to get him into like a half guard from there. It was better than having my back taken, but that was the best I could do.
I want to go back just because I know we've made you guys drill this stuff before. In this roll with Austin, he goes to escape. I get in on an Irimi Ashi, like just a standard Ashi Garami. Austin stays composed, does a really good job. He breaks my ankle and knee connection, and when he does, I immediately switch to the other ankle and set up an Irimi. And then, I switch to outside and it all falls apart from there, as usual. But just to show you, it is useful. Those drills are useful for live situations. Yeah, Brooke was in beast mode on Monday.
Yeah, tell me about it.
It's as if the heat did not slow her down, like, at all. Does Aiden survive this? No, it doesn't look like it. Let's go back on the setup for Steven.
I'll be honest, I was very fearful for your ankle, Steven. Because this was
his own lock
his own ankle.
Of his leg?
Watch his right foot.
Oh, yeah.
You see how it's like slipping off?
Yeah.
I know, you feel like you have the triangle, you're going to keep going for it, right? But it's one of those, you might feel it the next day.
Yeah, I don't know anybody who has ever like popped their own ankle doing that, but it definitely can get really uncomfortable really quickly. You can just like pull the safety valve on it if you need to.
Yeah.
I had to let the lock go when I finished. Yeah.
Yeah. I think Luke has said that he's popped his own ankle doing it.
Yeah, I don't think Luke has connective tissue in his ankles anymore.
I know. Straight in for the ankle. I love how like Steven will just go into a shootout with you. He's like, I don't care. And he literally gave him his leg, and he's like, "All right, I'll take yours."
Wonder who he learned that from. Coach Mike.
Yeah.
Oh, and I got a fun little Yoko Senkaku on Aiden or on Austin.
Oh yeah, so you're attacking the Kimura, and then or you're attacking the arm, and then you went for the triangle.
Yeah, did I start? Oh, well, yeah, started from a buggy choke attempt, and then
Did you step over the head?
I believe so. Yeah.
Yep.
But I didn't have like I didn't get up to that like dorsal Kimura position because Austin was doing his best to try to keep his back to the mat.
That was a nice entrance, Steven, into the legs.
Hell yeah, right in across.
Mm-hmm.
Double trouble immediately.
Yeah, he starts out with a false reap and then immediately goes in for the cross ashi.
It looks like he crushed Aiden's ball sack.
Taps and tap.
It's alright, taps and tap. Yeah, Mitch is definitely in a smothering kind of mood right now.
Yeah. It felt great.
Go ahead.
I was doing my best to try and sneak in frames where I could, and I was lucky to find some holes.
Austin, I don't know if you were on yet, but we talked probably too long about your leg stepping, passing issues you were having with Steven since I finally got to see all the Kimuras and stuff. So after this is done, go back and check out like the first round where you got Kimura'd like 3 or 4 times. It was kind of pathetic. Got a good clamp on the Los Huevos. Huevos al gusto. Yeah, he did. And then he knee barred you too with the Kimura trap. That was so far move of the night. A meaningless reward. I don't remember what happened in this roll with Steven. I just know that we've had some fireworks like every time we roll lately.
Yeah, it's very back and forth from what I can remember from watching.
Nice takedown.
Nice mat. Yeah, nice mat return.
Just look at that again real quick. So gets behind him. Little trip. Nice.
Yep.
Shoulder crunch sweep. Textbook. And then you could look at me and Steven and see how to not do it or how to fail at doing it.
He's very good at defending it. He really is.
Yeah, and my elbow, like my right elbow is like way out of position, way low.
Is it Austin and Jason in the back?
Yeah.
And then Brooke and Ryan.
Yep.
And Joe.
And Duncan, I think, on the side.
Duncan?
Yeah.
Okay. And then is it Pat Pat and somebody behind the pillar, or is that Cole?
Yeah, that's Pat and maybe.
Oh, Pat and Cole. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yep.
Oh, watch this. I think this was it. Watch this. With Steven and I. Or no. Maybe that happens with Joe later. There was a really interesting transition from like that attempted dummy sweep, or the double ankle sweep, whatever, to a mounted triangle that we discovered.
Oh, nice.
That was cool.
So I just worked for like a minute to try and do to figure out a body lock on
Aiden.
And then as soon as I'm like, fuck yeah, it worked, he catches me slipping and immediately turns me over and sweeps me, and I'm like, you motherfucker.
So let's see, we're talking
like I was like trying to figure it out in my head, working exactly what Danaher had shown in his new wave.
So this is, so you got here, you're working from more of a half guard.
Yeah, I was working from half guard, and check this out. Like, he locks me down pretty good inside half guard, and I couldn't quite get my knee across in either direction. Like, I couldn't post up. He was doing a really good job of, see his left foot posting on my hip.
Yeah.
So it was kind of like a pseudo half guard that he had me in here. So I work a body lock past my right arm feeds all the way through, and so the lock is actually on the left hand side of his body. So I've got my right arm all the way. Yep. And then my left arm comes here, and now I'm trying to put my elbow down towards the mat in order to block his knee here. And then I'm able to walk around. So I sprawl out nice and low, keeping my elbow nice and low so that he can't get his left knee back in. And then I'm able to reclaim with my right knee and get into the body lock. And then he holds onto my leg and turns me over.
That was really well timed on his part.
It really was, and I was so pissed that it happened. Yeah, it was really good.
I've been really trying to play with this 5-finger guillotine.
Oh yeah?
Any chance I get, yeah.
From
mount, from okay. Butterfly guard, half guard even. You know, it's one of those things. If you don't get the sub, you can typically turn it into a pass. But Joe's working an armbar there on Duncan.
Yeah.
Nice, good composure, Duncan.
Yeah, that was.
Let's turn off the chat for a second. Look at that real quick. So, good transition, good eye here. I would, let's go back a bit. Take the time to get that leg completely over and in front of his head. Like, you know, Joe, you can step this leg around. You're gonna have to get your own arm out of the way, but you could step this leg around and just sit on him the whole time. Like, make sure your weight is nice and heavy on him, and then when you go to lay back, see how you've lost this elbow to chest connection, right? His elbow to your chest. It's not some. I mean, it didn't fare you too poorly this time, but that's an opportunity for escape. So if you could tighten that up and then, you know, do a nice slow controlled sit instead of a fall, you'll definitely have better leg position, and you could change the outcome of this a bit more. And then here, so he kind of like gets his hips up like this. I would take the time. You've got, you know, now you have the leg over the face. Again, make sure the elbow is tight to your chest. Take the time to like sit up this way, right? You've got a good elbow to elbow connection here with your hooking arm. So your other hand could come free. You could post on the mat, push yourself to a seated position, get Duncan in a more supine position, more vulnerable, less mobile on his back. And then you could start working the grip breaks instead of like getting here and then working this like tug of war where, he pretty easily just kind of rotated his hand once he broke his grip, or once you broke his grip. So nice slow controlled finishes on those arm bars.
Justin hit a nice go behind on Caleb. But Justin, when you hit that go behind, I think...
Big shrug. Hell yeah.
Yep. So watch where... Yeah, basically you weren't... I'd like to see you sinking down on the hips. You got to get Caleb's feet planted first before you start making that turn. So your feet, your leg was like right in between. In fact, it was kind of opening up for a leg attack on Caleb's part there if he would have just sat back. But I mean, really good go behind. You just need to wear down on those hips and get him to start planting. And that way you can take your time in that spot. And then, once you feel which foot is planted firmly, then you can start deciding on how you want to cut that angle.
Yeah. And if you are like, I guess with this one, with you choosing to turn towards your left, I would consider switching your legs, right? Like this leg should be the one kind of doing the tripping, and then you could take your other leg out of the equation a bit more. Because now, I mean, if you look at it, right, his you'll see his left leg steps back right here. Well, you can't really see it, but that's the leg you want to trip if you're turning him in that direction. And now you haven't taken him that way enough because he was able to base out that he can recover from that. The go behind looked really, really solid though. Like just good awareness on you having won that underhook battle and the value of that nice hard shrug.
You and Steven are having a battle. Like, it's very back and forth.
Yeah, he's a piece of shit. Just want to see super subtle move, but like look at Aiden trapping your ankle, denying you the knee slide, and what do? Just a quick push.
Yep.
And right through.
I didn't do it twice. Watch, he does it again.
Oh yeah.
He grabs my ankle, and then I just pop it again.
Nice. Simple moves that make big differences. Oh, that's right. Steven had a really sick back take here. Like when it happened, I was like, what the hell, dude? So I think my arm is in like a reverse crossface position. Like it's over on the far side of his head. And then, I really wanted to see this in slow motion. I haven't had a chance to look at this yet. So he unhooks his legs.
Butterfly hook in.
Just elevates me. That butterfly hook just stays put.
He basically uses the okay, so let's break this down a little bit. He uses that his right leg to elevate just enough so that he can get his left leg elevated so that his right leg can sneak out back. Yeah.
And well, his whole hips too, right? Like he elevates me here. Quick extension of his other leg to help get his hips out the back. He had good control over my upper body, and then right in. It was really like when it happened, I was like, "What the shit?"
That's slick, yeah.
Too bad he didn't do anything with it.
I was still pissed about getting swept.
From like 5 minutes ago?
Yeah. I'm like, I'm gonna sit
like, I'm gonna break this arm.
And I'm like, I'm gonna do an armbar because he's been sneaking out of everybody's armbar with this his
Yeah. His hitchhiker.
his hitchhiker. I'm like, hitchhiker doesn't work.
Killer. Is that Danaher demonstrating which way to turn the thumb to get out of the armbar?
Yeah. So I got to train with Ryan for the first time. That was really fun. He's got a very good guard. Really fun to play.
Oh, look at this.
Really fun to train. That was nice by Cole.
Yeah. Oh. Okay, yeah. It's good. Really good. Double butterflies in the whole time. Or through the roll, rather. Right into mount. Yeah, Ryan has a... He really likes De La Hiva. And... which I think suits him well. I mean, he's got long limbs. He definitely can play it a lot better than I can. But it definitely bugs you. Especially like standing versus seated. Which I guess is the only time you play De La Hiva. I don't know why I even said that.
So who are you training against? Are you against...
I'm against Joe. And yeah, this was another good roll.
Yeah, everybody was getting after it on Monday.
He was not letting me get the side triangle on that, so I had to bail.
I'm actually really happy to see Cole take it back. You
I
don't
was-
see him take it back very often.
Yeah, and I like what he did here. Like his arm attack. So he's at first, I guess he was attacking the far side arm. So let's see. He starts from north south, isolates the arm, and then cuts back to side control. Starts trying to hit the finish. Duncan turns towards it, and I like that like Duncan defends his left arm, but sacrifices his right arm, right? Cole's put him in that dilemma. And then Cole switches up, but notice he doesn't get good leg placement. So he says, all right, cool, I'll take your back.
Yep.
So he didn't get too focused in on one attack and switched through a few subs and then ended up getting the rear naked. But every time he used the quote unquote failed submission attempt to advance his position further. Oh, and Joe had a really threatening north-south setup too that I told him you were the guy to talk to for tips on north-south position. But like at one point in all this, I was like, I really need to get out. Like I can't play around here too long. It may have been here. Like even with the arm in, like he was laying down some heavy pressure. Yeah,
His hips are really putting in, a lot of work on that left side of your head.
Yeah. Just to point it out, really, really simple use of just that like leg pendulum principle, I guess you could say, where I take my legs away from him, swing him back in, and all I'm looking to do is get the one knee in.
Yep.
From there, I have my knee to elbow connection. I can establish my side guard, and then I can work to re-guard.
You also have really strong frames up top too while you're doing that. That definitely gives you the ability to create some space.
Damn right.
Oh, you went to armbar from there?
I didn't notice I was flexing after your compliment of my frames. It was more of like the triangle style Americana, except I didn't have a triangle locked
shoulder.
up. Yeah, okay. So I guess more of a clamp guard. And then I got his arm in like an Americana, and then
Gotcha.
upper knee pressure down.
Nice.
Luke was high on that move for a while. Do you remember that?
Mm-hmm. I do. Many is four-shouldered.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See how Cole got to this Katagatame. All right, interesting. I don't know how this goes. So Cole again attacking far side arm from side control. Let's see how he adjusts. Okay, and then just goes. It looks like Duncan was a little lazy on that transition, right? Like he's putting his arm up into a terrible spot, like the worst spot, rather than establishing a frame. So the thing about this shoulder crunch grip that he has here is that the grip is all well and good, but you need your legs to perform the move, and Duncan's legs are nowhere in the equation right now. So just something to recognize, Duncan, when you're if you want to work with shoulder crunches or anything like that, like right now your primary focus needs to be establishing frames and escaping to guard or sweeping or whatever. Yeah, you left your arm in a bad spot, and Cole was ready for it.
You're going for foot sweeps.
I am, and it was so sweaty, like it didn't seem like a good idea at all. And I didn't.
Yeah, you almost feel so off balance going for them.
Yeah, I didn't feel comfortable on like any shot. And I was honestly thinking that move we saw Justin do earlier, where he reached around for the far leg. That's kind of what I was thinking here, but I hadn't really practiced that or thought it through. Mm-hmm. Watching it now, and honestly, even in the moment, I was like, I just really made my arm vulnerable. But I mean, I knew where Joe's arms were, so it wasn't the riskiest proposition. But yeah, all that just to end up in guard. So
I'm struggling with. I mean, it's better than getting your back taken, But yeah, I think there's stuff here that we can play with for sure.
Yeah.
But I'm definitely not confident in it yet. Like I'm nowhere near it. I'm taking shots in the dark.
So watch this standing guard break evolution here. So.
Oh yeah, nice.
So he's got Cole's head's in the way, but he's got like a straight ankle grip, like the Achilles grip, rather than the scoop on the inside. Mm-hmm. So when his legs break open, he doesn't pull the knee to the inside. So I shuck it by, sit down, and end up into close to a mounted triangle position. Right, I mean, really right into mount. I think where is it? I think my right leg, had I kept my right leg, maybe had I fought a little bit harder, I could have gotten my right leg into a better position for the mounted triangle. But yeah, Joe, when you did this to me, I was excited to look at it on stream. I just want you to keep in mind, like, I don't want you to not go for legs from this position, right? A good answer to a standing guard break attempt is to enter the legs. You just have to do it the right way. And your right leg in this case, if you it's going to be so hard to explain. I could show you live, but like, you basically point your knee out away from your body and pull it down inside my leg. And that can get you to set up into like an X guard. It can get you into a standard ashi. The straight ankle grip that you have isn't terrible. You can alternatively take a scoop grip from the inside rather than scooping around on the outside. But I like that you were reacting that way. You know, it looked like you had something in mind, or like you were trying to get to somewhere where I didn't just break your legs and pass open. You were trying to answer to that. So that'll be an easy thing to tighten up. Just got to show you the leg configuration. Look at Aiden sliding around. Not here. He just says go. I don't know. Does he have like a guillotine? He doesn't have a darce.
I think it's just a front headlock. Snap, position.
Yeah.
Super sprawled.
Maybe an anaconda?
Maybe he does. Yeah, he might.
Because he wasn't under the right arm for or the correct arm for a darce from that position, but I think it may have been an anaconda strangle. So this should be fun. You and Brooke like man/woman handling each other for I think 2 rounds.
Yeah.
I didn't get to see any of it. I just heard the thuds.
That's one of many. If you count.
Okay, so
yeah, she shot straight in for my legs.
Let's look at that.
Just pop me down.
Yeah, in regards to what we were just saying to Joe.
Yep.
All right, so she goes in on her left side. Okay, so she takes a double ankle grip.
Mm-hmm.
But then, yeah, look at the way she slips the leg in and through, right? So she leads by pulling her knee towards the ground and then pummels that leg in. Yeah. So that was very similar to what we were talking about. It looks like she's hitting an interesting leg configuration there. A little bit of a reap and then a sticky hook on the far leg.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was kind of like a tripod sweep, but from in like an inside like position. It was weird.
Yeah. See how Ryan's guard stacks up against Big Cole. Like they're going over stuff with Matt, I guess.
Yeah, Matt asked that I train with him the round before. He wanted me to train with Ryan. And that was definitely. I'm glad these guys came to the gym. They're different looks, and it's good stuff, man.
Yeah. One thing I find with like Cole, with Luke, with the bigger guys that I train with, when they're coming at me from this like seated versus kneeling position, I spent a long time trying to utilize front headlocks as a, I don't want to call it a defense mechanism, but using it to make them think twice about moving forward. And honestly, all it did was take my hands away where they would be more effective as frames. They advanced their lower body up and then eventually got their pass anyway. So like, I guess for Ryan here, keep like you can work the front headlocks and stuff from the seated position. You're just kind of on your ass and immobile. But you may find a bit more defensive success just by sticking to a frame and working to a better angle. Framing, creating space, moving to where you could be more effective, as opposed to accepting the distance being closed, tying up the head, but then having, very little effect preventing this pass. As we kind of see here, Cole just steps up, gets into at least close to mount. I think he gets into mount there. But
that was exactly my advice to him as well. He did that to me a couple of times, and what I advised him was, if you're going to do that, you need to be up into an attacking position on your knees and then sprawling out as soon as that happens, especially against somebody who's bigger, because otherwise they're just going to put you down. And
I mean, look at what's going on with Pat and I right now. Like, I've lost the use of my frames, right? I'm basically like right here, I'm framing. He switches angles, you know. I'm any like attack on the head at this point. Maybe I was trying the 5-finger guillotine stuff. All right, no, I switched to like kind of a cow catcher, or like 100% grip. But you know, I need to like frame and create space and get my hips back under my control instead of letting my opponent just press and press and press and get forward. Did you just tap Brooke with a katagatame?
I did.
It's
some big shoulders, man.
Whatever, dude.
Hers, not me.
Yeah. I can't really tell if like if Matt's coaching Ryan and Cole right now. I mean, like, I'm sure they're just chatting a bit, but like right there, I'm just going to assume that like Ryan was, you know, trying to go live and trying to get some stuff done with Cole. So he's in this like what would be an armbar position if he could get his right leg out from underneath Cole. No easy feat right now. Cole's entire body is over top of it. But he slips his own arm out here. Like he just gives up on that grip. I would like keep that grip. See, I mean, he looks at Matt, so I assume they're just talking or something. But like, you know, I would say use your right arm, scoop under the head, and then get a head and arm grip. You know, a closed loop around the head and arm, and work to get to the back. Like he's gonna have a hard time turning into you right now. So you had a back take there, if you didn't have the armbar.
So I think his right knee is the one that's still coming back from injury. So okay. I think the fact that
that's fair.
And I don't want to speak for him, but because we had the same battle going on in the corner there, because there was one point where he wanted to hike up and take mount on me, and I happened to be like laying on his leg, so we switched positions and switched it over to his left leg, and we went from there. So I think he's just coming back, trying to take it easy from injury.
That's fair.
But stay on the mats.
Yeah. I really like this Uchimata from out of like from one side of the camera to the other. But it emphasizes what we talked about, I think, during the takedown when we went over a Sotogari. These moves don't happen all the time, quick and easy with like the first go, like it did last week when I Uchima'd the shit out of Brooke. But like you jump, you follow through. Definitely something Bertram has like drilled into our heads before.
Yep.
So a good example of that there.
Yeah, I'm trying to get her to go for the underhook. Can't tell.
Yeah.
She goes for this overhook, and I'm trying to figure out what I could do from there in order to shake it. So I went in to try and do a quick shot, and she sprawled immediately and went behind.
Yep. I count on Brooke sprawling, which we will see later. Oh, did we lose you? Technical difficulties. Alright, so Caleb and Cole. Mike and Brooke still killing it. Jason had some great looks here at the end. we're just kind of definitely put to work the principle of like, passing is easiest immediately after the takedown. Positional advancements are easiest immediately after passing, which we'll see here. Nice Soto
Yeah, I
guard.
did the Soto, but I did it on the same side.
There you are. Sorry, we lost you for a second.
No, I went. My wife called.
Oh, okay. You're like, I'm on the stream, babe. Leave me alone. Let's see this again. Yeah, that was rad. So like, I mean, let's look at the footwork on this. Like, you're in Kenkaiatsu, right? For those unfamiliar, it's the opposite stance where it looks like you're standing in front of a mirror rather than you each have the same front foot forward. So it seems honestly, when we started going over this, like from this leg position, it always seemed to me like this was just, you have to reach even further because that, the leg that you're hooking on her is that much further back. And I love that you went for it without the overhook. Like, she has wrist control and you're like, all right, let's just leave that there.
Yep.
And but you extend it back. You make your connection, and she just didn't have enough time to adjust.
Yeah.
That was a really interesting variation.
It's one of those things that happens once and then it'll never happen again.
Yeah.
You know.
Cole, a little too overcommitted on the step over. Caleb, it looked like he had legs in good enough position to defend that. Gets a good sweep. It's funny watching you two like hand fighting, because there's just strategy in like every move. Like, it isn't like pointless kind of gripping.
And yet, like, you know how it was too on Mondays. Like, grips are precious because you're so slick. Yeah.
She mixed it up on you there.
Got one. I told her. That's what I told her as I was going back. I was like, oh, you get one.
Yeah, and like what's tricky about this is the whole time, I mean, like we were just talking about, the differences in grips that you guys were using, and like the way Brooke was engaging you. You're like, a second ago when she got a Sotogari, it was from wrist control. Here we see she's trying to establish, more wrist control, collar tie, body lock nowhere in sight. And then from here she decides quickly, let's switch it up. I think we're a few seconds behind. She switches it up, goes right in on her body fold. Yep. And hits the takedown.
I make sure she pays.
Yeah.
There's retribution for every takedown she gets on me.
Yeah. I think that's a theme I think she's experienced lately. Let me move out of the way here. Let's go back. Look, I took her back here. So she gave up the underhook.
She reached for my leg the wrong way.
Yeah.
And she gets into a crucifix.
Yeah.
So I'm very happy to keep that arm. And I keep it all the way into the body triangle. So I'm two versus one.
Nice.
And she's very tough to strangle.
but you got it.
But I got it.
One little setup thing here I did on Jason. So you guys see me use foot sweeps all the time. The really good thing about them is kind of like how Brooke just switched it up with her takedowns. If I use foot sweeps a lot, you guys come to expect them from me. So you adjust, right? And you keep your feet back. And when your feet are too far back, you get snapped down. So I set up here. You can see me coming in on a foot sweep. Jason steps back, and I immediately switch it into a snap down, into a front headlock position. So you can use those foot sweeps. They're awesome when you hit them. It's a really low effort, low energy, low input, high reward move. But you can use them as setups just like this. So fake it, they adjust, snap them down the second they adjust, like the nanosecond they adjust.
I'm noticing you and I both use that. It's kind of like the reverse underhook / sit through on half guard a lot more lately. So like what you were just doing on Jason, there's a considerable size difference, right, between you and him, and so like you're doing this in what seems to be an easy sweep, I would say, from the person on bottom because of like your body position. It's actually very heavy where you are, right? Like you feel very stable in that position as the top person.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's something that a lot of our students are using now that I'm really happy about. Just wanted to call that out because I've seen you do that on a number of people that you've trained with.
Yeah.
This one particularly.
Luke uses that to great success very frequently. And the funny thing is, if like you're right, you are easily swept here. The problem is, in order to sweep me, you've got to undo your legs and bridge. The second you open your legs, I'm back stepping out and I've passed your guard. So
Right.
I almost welcome you to try to sweep me, because I should be able to get the jump on it faster than you can bridge and roll.
Right. Stepped through for the arm. Now you're into a triangle arm bar.
Chasing that ankle pick.
Oh, me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't get it.
So yeah, Jason here. What were you saying?
I was just saying me and ankle picks don't get along.
No.
I gotta keep working on them.
So from this escape, right? Like, actually, we'll start it right from here. Jason like laid it on in this like last minute of rolling. So throws me by, gets comfortable, right? I could feel him starting to work on his escape. Big shuck, big guard pass.
That was really awesome by him. That was a great series.
Everything about it, and then immediately attacks my arm, gets me turned up. Like he really stepped up the pace, but every single move was very, very deliberate. And then look at, I mean, like, that's classic back taking. Attack the Americana, get them to defend it, expose their back. We've gone over it a million times in class, and it's just rad to see him putting it into really, really effective use.
Yeah.
I start to, I get my shoulders to the ground to try to beat get the back escape. He manages to stay on top. It was killer. Everything about that last exchange was like on point. And then I big time Caleb out of rolling with Brooke, which I'm so glad I did. It's a fun roll, of course. So you're in on Deep
get
half with
smashed.
Cole.
Yeah, I'm getting smashed by Cole for 6 minutes. I have a couple of good looks, and then he immediately turns me. He doesn't allow me to establish any sort of position on him, really. It was a good roll. The hell was that?
With Austin?
Yeah. Oh damn. that was a nice face plant.
We'll get to that in a second. Yeah, what the hell are these two doing? I don't even know how far back to go to understand what's going on here. All right, so he sets up for a go-go. Okay.
Okay. Yeah, okay. It's clearing up now. Okay.
And I don't think Caleb wants that to happen.
Nah.
Caleb trying to knee slide. All right, this makes more sense how they got here. You ever seen people try to do the challenge where they like they climb around a bench without touching the ground? That's what Austin reminds me. Like he's just trying to like get all the way around Caleb right now, without like with maximizing all contact.
Right.
Says he'll go out before he taps to a go-go. So what happened with Brooke here? It wasn't that clean. She had the underhook. I mean, like my feet were in a terrible spot for that. I readjust. Her neck broke her fall. It's okay. And then I just shoved her down because I'm like, no, I fought for that. You're not getting up.
I got you down. Stay down.
I mean, we saw Austin. He straight up climbed all over me earlier and choked the shit out of me.
Yeah, I think back to back here, I am miserable. These next two rolls were just horrid.
With Cole?
It's Cole, and then I think I get Caleb next.
Oh. We got Joe and Justin over here too, under the chat box. Keep an eye on that.
So Justin has, believe it or not, Justin, you're in a decent deep half type of position, but you need to thread your right hand in between Joe's legs instead of keeping him around the hips like that. If you were to go in for basically like attacking Joe's right leg, you actually have quite a number of sweeps and reversals, or sweeps from that position. No real attacks, but you can definitely sweep from that position.
So you're saying get this arm?
Yep.
Around. Okay, gotcha. Yeah. Instead of hugging at the hips.
Yeah, you basically go into like a high crotch type of a position, right? For the like if you were to take somebody down with a high crotch, and then start working around the body that way. I mean, that's DeBlas bread and butter, deep half. Not my bread and butter, by the way. I suck at deep half.
Yeah. Samesies.
Say that.
Understand. That's why we do it, baby. Just a little bit of foreshadowing. Look at this awful takedown attempt on Brooke here with her great sprawl. Immediately sitting me right into it.
For 8 minutes, right? Like every time I went in for a shot on the legs, she hit a go behind.
I mean, you're still there, Justin. Like, or I mean, you were in this at least spot adjacent to it, right? As Joe moves up. Well, I mean, I guess he was more in a high mount, but like, yeah, you just have to think about it as you're using your entire body to isolate and control his leg. I don't care what Austin did. Great triangle, where'd he hit it? What, did we already pass it, or? Oh my god. Making me pause the stream for nothing. But in any case, Justin, yeah, think next time you're there, good sweep, Joe. Next time you're there, just think about it in terms of like you're using all 4 of your limbs to control one leg. Brooke kept escaping from like my arm bars. Like you forget how bendy she is and how like you youngins. Earned that one.
Yeah, finally get into a good position on goal, maybe for 30 seconds to a minute or whatever it is. I think he's about to reverse me.
As you're cutting your angle.
Yeah.
Yeah, he does a great job of escaping out the back. Like, anytime you're moving to higher mounts, mounted triangles, arm bars, he's really good at keeping an arm tight and using it to shuck and get you over. What happened with Brooke here? Oh, I hit a Mikey lock on Brooke. That's what it was.
Oh, badass. Nice. Were you up on your elbow?
Let's see. I don't. Maybe. No, not really. Definitely on my shoulder, but I had the hand. I had my palm underneath her heel.
Right.
And was able to like hip into it enough to apply some pressure. All right, so there's like 30 seconds left on the clock, and I'm like, all right, let's go for a takedown. Let's turn it up. And I love Russian snaps.
That was a ragdoll.
Oh my god. It's so fun. Let's look at it again. And I stand over her too and go, woo! I've hit that on her like maybe once or twice before. Let's look at it in regular speed so it doesn't look as violent. So I establish wrist control. I know, like I pointed out before, I know Brooke will sprawl. Brooke wrestled. She has great sprawling reactions. We saw it earlier. I took a crappy shot and she sprawled and put me in a front headlock. So I was like, all right, get wrist control, fake a shot. I get all the way underneath her. I elicit that sprawl reaction. And then in order to sprawl, you need to break your fall, right? You have to base out, get that triple bam. I take her wrist away because I have wrist control and I throw it by, not allowing her to base. But she could still base with her face, which she chose to do. I threw it by so hard, I got a little twist out of it. And then you get over your opponent, you look her in the eye, and you yell. You go, woo! It was awesome. Super funny. She was laughing her ass off about it. Like, it was it looks so much meaner from a third person perspective, but you don't even like you just that's what I love about this is you just fake a shot and take their base away, and they end up on the ground. A video went at least viral in our community with Makachev doing that at an AKA training session against like I think a high schooler or a college student or something who went on to later hit it, and like that introduced a lot of people, myself included, to the Russian snap. So I've looked for that any chance I can get it. And they're only what was that? Oh, shitty Sayonagi.
Sayonagi.
Let's watch it again. Why not? Whee! He looks like he threw a grenade and,
Yeah.
and then protected yourself.
Cover it up.
Fun.
And then Pat's sitting there talking shit to me. You playing that? Yes, Pat, I playing that.
Yeah, I pulled turtle. All right. Let's watch.
Yeah, this is just me literally surviving for another 6 minutes.
Yeah, these end of the night rolls when the thermostat's reading 80 degrees are understandably slower. Joe trying so hard to get the sweep, and like I can't even call him out. Like, you know, there's no drive leg here, right? He's really just kind of using his legs to manipulate. But look at the mat. Like,
Yep.
there was no
Yeah.
no drive leg to be had. Cole smash. How did Cole get, or how did Caleb get to Mount? Okay, it just looks like he just stepped over here when Matt was walking by.
Yeah, he drives his knee all the way across. I couldn't stop it. I was just trying to get my elbow involved so that I can get back to a half guard, and I don't think I ever managed to do it. I'll be right back.
True strength of Mike's arms, he apparently has endless endurance. I mean, let's not give him too much credit. He's only been working out very briefly. I don't even think he's on anymore to defend himself. No, there's a lot to say for the strength involved there, but keep in mind an elbow by the hip is an extremely difficult position to open. So like whether it's, you know, by the side or in front of you, like if someone doesn't want their elbow to come away from their body, it's extremely difficult. That's why, like you just did it a second ago, that's why we tend to work attacks on like the rotator cuffs, you know, pinning the hand down instead of like pushing them at the elbow, you know, or on the forearm to try to open the arm up. Doesn't mean it's easier even doing that. I mean, hell, Officer Jason, case in point, right? If he doesn't want his arms to get isolated, it's a very difficult battle to have. Good regard, Joe. I don't think there was much to do on an attack there. It was just get safe. Really, really good positioning here. I would have liked to have seen Cole give you a bit more trouble so that you could also work other stuff, really. But this is good. This is that half guard suite of moves, right? Where you've come up using the outside leg woven in. You can reach across for the knee tap double, which I believe you do right here, trying to drive into him. If Cole pushes into you, well, you know, you can't take his back because he's got the wizard, but if he pushes into you, You got your roll through sweep that you can hit. If he bases out on the roll through sweep, you could swing back up and try to take his back since his wizard will be out since he based out. So quick review of those options. But either way, it looks good. You stayed pressured into him. Managed to sweep the top half guard. Yeah, whatever. If he's letting you work, it's good too. It looked like you knew what you were doing though, which is what matters. Way to tell. His legs are open. Get a nice tired round with Cole. Cole just purposefully kicked me in the balls there. Watch his right leg. Because he knows I wear a cup. He's the only one of you that's done that, and I don't want it to turn into a thing because I'll kill all of you. You gotta power top him, man. Cole, how did he sweep me here? Oh yeah, Cole got his soon patent pending overhook on me, and there's just no way I could base or anything, so that was his. And then he quickly isolated my left arm, which I'd love to have given him more of a fight here, but it was just, that's my bad arm. That's just, I can't, when it's up there that isolated, I can't do anything with it. So it was that round was definitely his. Just want to see Mike and Justin here. So Mike working really hard to get the near side leg in first. Justin doing his damnedest to deny the second hook. He gets it. And Joe and Austin are having a scramble here too. More of this weird positioning that I wouldn't have expected. What do we get here? Joe in side control. I think Austin was trying to set up a buggy. And then just snuck out the side door there. Good. That's excellent. There are a few really good options. Bro, you have no idea how, like, walking into the gym that day, the air was like, you could drink the air. It was disgusting. Trying to take the back from close guard. I imagine you're working on getting the arm all the way across the body and progressing from there. Keep working on that. When you're ready, or if you want to, let me know. There are a few other really good options that you can work from there that when that back take inevitably gets countered, you can hit some really sick sweeps, like a pendulum sweep, or flower sweep, or work some other options too. So kind of like that half guard position that we saw Joe executing. You can just build a whole series of options around that.
Yeah, I think Austin takes my back and roll what we have next. In from close guard.
Nice. That's good, Joe. That's a great way to think about it. Like just for the training room, you know. Yeah, James, I don't know if you've had the pleasure of experiencing Mooresville BJJ when the AC isn't working or when it can't keep up with the temperatures outside. But it was definitely, it's that time of the year, so I can't remember what month you started, if you were around last May, but it's pretty awful.
It didn't feel that bad training, but now watching it, it looks gross.
Yeah, I mean, when you're going, it's whatever.
Yeah.
Between advanced class, or I'm sorry, fundamentals class, and then the open mat, like since I started teaching fundamentals, I dried off, and then my very first roll with Ryan, it was just like I was covered in like grip tape, and I couldn't break anything. And yeah, Joe, as far as like just working on passing guard, when, you know, Austin or Brooke or any of these long-legged training partners of ours hit you with a body triangle from the front, good luck getting out of that. It's a pain. Like you kind of, the one thing it does for them is it prevents any movement. So they eventually, if they want to advance, they've got to like give up that position, but or not, I don't want to say give up the position, but give up the configuration of their legs. Good attack there when you had the chance and you managed to move to half guard. That was great. Let's watch these two jokers for the last round. Yeah, it's funny. It wasn't until like I think within the last year, Brooke put a body triangle on me from the front. And I'm like, no one's ever done this to me. I have no idea what to even do right now. So yeah, you're you're right to feel stuck, but yeah, they're not going to hit you with much from that position. So I would maintain your posture. You know, and then let them try to advance. Yeah, immediate darce.
Yeah, I had the overhook to start with, and then when I fell down, and then we got down to the mat, it was just prime
right
opportunity,
there.
so I took it. Yep. It's just so slippery. So here's where Austin, like, I'm like, all right, I'm past the guard. I can do some shit from here. And then he gets me in this weird ass position.
Just do regular shit, Austin.
I know.
Tired of your weirdness. I'm an innovator.
What can I say? Here.
Jesus.
Like how? Like,
it's rubber guard around your waist.
Yeah. And his left arm comes through and grabs his own ankle. You see that?
Yeah. Oh, I see it.
And I'm like, how do we get out of this? I'm like, talking to myself. I'm grabbing his toes, and I'm like, okay, maybe if I just pass here, it'll put enough pressure and he'll let go.
Yeah.
No. I just end up in like now fucked up half guard and then full guard.
I can't wait till he's our age and walking with a cane.
He's gonna have mechanical knee braces coming into jiu-jitsu.
Yeah. We could call him Gumby, but there was already who was it? There was a fighter that had that nickname. It was Jeremy. Oh, what's his name? Sorry, I think
there was that closed guard back take.
Oh, let's see it.
He actually has a triangle, I think, the entire time.
Jeremy Horn, yeah, that's it. You Googled that. You didn't know. You weren't even born. So, I guess okay, here we go. Yeah, so here's the interesting thing about that. Well, not interesting. It's just kind of cool and fortuitous for you, Austin. So when I was talking earlier about getting both arms, getting Mike's arms on the same side of his body, this doesn't look like you've done that in the traditional sense of like you grab a 2-on-1 on his right arm, you pull it across, you reach up, give him a hug, pull him down, whatever. But because Mike has, we'll just say you went for like a Kimura, right? Or you were setting up for like a roll through Kimura because you reached your arm up and over here, like right there, right? I don't know what you were going for, but maybe a guillotine, whatever. Mike's essentially done that to himself, so you've got a wide open path to start coming around. So Mike he did the work for you, the hardest part of the job, I think, which is getting the arm across. Now it's just a battle to figure out what you want to do from there. I mean, I have an impossible time strangling you from the back these days, so it's
I think once you get on somebody's back, if they know what they're they know what to anticipate, it is hard to strangle. That's why you didn't really see prior to Gordon Ryan. The back was not a prime, I would say, finishing position. It was a prime point scoring position, but there are not a lot of people who can truly finish from the back, I feel like.
Yeah. Last minute buggy strangle.
Yeah.
To
I had
close
a
it
nice
out.
strong crossface to follow that one.
Nice. Oh, dude, I've been cross-facing the shit out of everybody who's trying to hit that stuff.
Yeah.
As early as possible.
Hell yeah.
Cool. All right, guys. Thanks for sticking around. That was another great session. Entirely too wet, but we make do. We train hard. So, yeah, really great from everybody. In any case, anything we mentioned here that you want to go over, bring it to class, let us know. I know we pointed out a lot of things for a few of you, so bring it to us. We'll go over it. Thank you, guys. Much appreciated. Glad you were here. Thanks again for the resub. Deathcore, following us for 3 months now. Really appreciate it. Appreciate all the support. You can do that at coffee.com/MOBJJ. You can subscribe here. You can follow us here if you're lurking. We really appreciate it. All this will be up on YouTube soon. And yeah, we will see you guys at class. Trim your nails, do your laundry. Don't be stinky.
Later, everybody.
See you guys later.
Thank you.